I think it's time for a facelift. A nip here, a tuck there, maybe a little Botox.
Fixity, fixity, fixity fix!
Let's start with a little microdermabrasion, then a little prescription to deal with that greasy, oily complexion. I spent hours with the pressure washer and a hand brush, and then again with the pressure washer to get the floor as clean as possible. Now it's time for a little acid wash. Lather, rinse, repeat. Oh my God, my colorist says Nordic Sky would be perfect for my complexion. Because we're located in hilly Appalachia, the concrete parts of this garage are below grade. Thankfully, there's never been water intrusion in this garage, but just in case, we're using a waterproofing concrete treatment paint. The directions called for 2 coats, so that's what we did. And it went on smooth, real smooth. Sarah's using the scooter method to apply masking tape. This floor already had some worn out paint on it, so we're having to use this Rustoleum Recoat primer prior to applying the 2-part epoxy floor paint. Technically, this primer is for floors that have already been painted to prepare it for an epoxy coat. However, the old paint had worn off all the way through to concrete in several spots. That's why I used the 3-in-1 cleaner earlier, because it has an acid etching compound in order to prepare the concrete spots for paint also. This primer is pretty thin and easy to apply with a 3/8" nap roller. This primer has to dry for 24 hours before it can be top coated with this magic stuff, Rustoleum's EpoxyShield. I love how this stuff comes in these bags. You can practice your CPR skills while mixing it up. Breathe, damn it! I debated at length whether or not to use the multicolored chips that came with the kit. Ultimately, I decided I liked the look of the chips and also think they add just a little bit of extra durability to the floor. The trade-off is it's probably easier to lose little bolts and small parts and things that drop, but I'm willing to live with that for the extra durability. And I think the multicolored chips just look kind of cool. Everything looks mottled when it's still wet, but it all evens out when it dries. I painted this job in 2 parts just so I could let things dry and wheel everything over to the dry side to paint the storage side and vice versa. After the base coat of gray epoxy shield and chips dried for 24 hours, I opted to apply an additional clear coat of epoxy shield so the finished floor would be as durable as possible. I thought one more layer of epoxy wouldn't hurt. Also, I wanted a little extra shine, and this stuff is ridiculous. This box was $175. They say don't paint yourself into a corner. I was careful not to paint myself into a corner. However, I did manage to paint my camera, which was set up for time-lapse to record this thing, in the opposite corner of the garage. This is Sarah holding my pants so I can reach the lock on the garage door so that I can retrieve my phone without ruining the new paint. In the end, the floor and the walls ended up looking excellent for a workshop. I could have spent a little more time getting the chips more even, or even applied the ClearCoat maybe a little thinner on the first side so that it covered more evenly. But for the toughness it all, I hope will provide. I'm very happy with this outcome. Please consider subscribing, give this video a like, and tune in next time to see us install some shelves.